Shut the hell up! You're such an annoying woman. How can I even eat this crappy lunch?
My son Kyle shouts at me like that and trashes the lunch which I prepared for him that day.
It's your fault for not making good lunches. You're useless.
Oh, I can't take it anymore. Let's get a divorce.
I'll be glad to. Now get the hell out of here.
But a few minutes later, the two of them would be crying to me. My name is Christy. I am a housewife living with my husband Damien and our son Kyle, who is in the 8th grade. My husband and I have not been blessed with kids, but after being patient, finally we were blessed with Kyle. I have loved my son since he was a baby, and Kyle was the apple of my eye. But recently, Kyle is in the height of his rebellious phase. Kyle, hurry up and take a bath.
Shut up, you old hag. You're supposed to keep the tub hot for me so that I can get in on my own time.
Kyle, honey, get up early and go to school.
It seems like you haven't cleaned my room at all. What the heck is going on? You better get it done by the time I get back.
Oh, Kyle, if you're not busy, please help me a little, honey.
Shut up and just go get me some juice.
Like that, Kyle's outbursts towards me were terrible. Plus, he treats me like his servant and blames me when I didn't do it for him. And the other day, I found out that he was taking money from my wallet without my permission. When I questioned him about it, Kyle didn't seem offended and said,
All you can do for me is give me money anyways.
At first, I tolerated him, thinking that he was just going through puberty as he is in 8th grade. But as I have watched his recent behavior and how he treats me, his own mother, I have come to realize that I can no longer let that slide as his puberty. I wondered what to do, and when I asked Damien about it, he replied,
Kyle's bad attitude is because of your bad education. You're a housewife, but you can't even do proper house chores or raise a child.
And like that, I was blamed by Damien as well. Kyle's behavior and Damien's constant blame towards me were becoming more and more frustrating. Was it my fault that I didn't raise Kyle properly? Was it because of his puberty? Is there anything I can do to solve this? One day while I was thinking to myself like this, an incident occurred. I wake up early every morning just to make lunch for Kyle. Some days he doesn't go to school recently, but I don't know how Kyle is feeling and what he's in the mood for, so I do my best to wake up early every day. But
I don't want this lunch. It doesn't taste good. If you're going to make lunch, make it better.
Kyle then took the lunch that I just finished making and turned the lunchbox upside down in front of me. Then the lunch that I made went right into the trash. I could do nothing but be shocked about what had happened.
Finally, I won't have to eat a bad lunch anymore. Well, I'll take some money for lunch money.
Kyle said that as he pulls the bills out of my wallet and tossed back the wallet to me. I clutched the wallet tightly in my hand, unable to find anything to say back to him. Then Kyle left the house. Even though I was standing right beside him, Damien didn't say anything. In times like this, a father should speak up.
It's your fault for not making a good lunch for Kyle. So a lunch that doesn't taste good deserves to be thrown away. I wouldn't want to eat it either.
Even when I tell Damien to scold Kyle, he blames me for everything.
You can't even clean up or do laundry well, but we still put up with you. Can't you at least try to be a better cook? Don't you think you should put yourself in our shoes, who has to eat these meals which tastes horrible every day?
As Damien said that, he quickly left the house. The breakfast I had prepared for Damien and Kyle was left on the dining table untouched. And in the trash was the lunch that I had woken up early to prepare. Ever since I was a child, I was taught not to waste food. That's why I could never understand the behavior of not eating prepared meals or throwing any food away. When we first got married, Damien used to eat my home-cooked meals, saying that they were delicious. Until recently, Kyle told me that he loved my Salisbury steak. It was not that my cooking was particularly bad, but I could only think that both Damien and Kyle was harassing me or trying to bully me. Kyle and Damien's terrible attitudes towards me ran through my mind. I sigh loudly and take out a sheet of paper that I had tucked away in a drawer. It was the divorce papers that I had secretly tucked away, as I thought that I'd have it just in case if anything happens. I've had enough, and I couldn't stand it anymore. Maybe they would be better off without me. With these feelings, I filled out the divorce papers. When Damien and Kyle returned home, I spread out the signed divorce papers on the table. I've just had enough at this point, so let's get a divorce.
Oh, yay, I'm so happy. Just get out.
Hearing me asking for divorce, Kyle says this happily.
I'm so glad I'm divorcing a wife who can't even do her own house chores, even when the housekeepers can do a good job about it.
Damien said that and also filled out the divorce papers quickly. Kyle looked at me with a gloomy expression on his face and said,
Get out of here right now.
All right, I'm leaving this house, and you two can do the rest on your own.
Well, yeah, because this is my house. So you can go wherever you want. Kyle and I, we're both men, so it's easier for us to be alone.
Saying this, Damien patted Kyle on the shoulder, and then Kyle began to tremble. Then Kyle said something unbelievable.
I knew you cared more about your partner who you're cheating on with than us. That's why you're leaving us, isn't it?
Kyle's words startled me, and I stopped moving for a moment.
You're having an affair, aren't you, Mom? So I felt like I was betrayed and abandoned, and I couldn't forgive you.
So, Kyle mistakenly thought that I was cheating on Damien and that I was betraying my family. It wasn't puberty that was causing him to suddenly lash out at me and be so arrogant and having a terrible attitude like that. But I've never cheated, or I'm not cheating with anyone behind Damien's back. Kyle, why did you even think that? Besides, it's not me who is having an affair, but it's your father. When I said that, Kyle froze, saying, What? And Damien looked like he was panicking, not knowing what to do.
What are you saying, Christy? There is no such thing that I cheat on you, and it's all a false accusation.
Then I'll show you the proof. I took out a cardboard box from our bedroom and spread it out on the table. In it was a necktie which I didn't remember buying, a hotel membership card I've never heard of, a woman's handkerchief which I don't even recognize, and a shirt with lipstick on it. Damien had been acting weird and a little off for some time, taking his phone into the bathroom and bathtub, and he also smelled like he was wearing a woman's perfume on the days he came home late. So I had asked an investigator to investigate about Damien with divorce in my mind. My hunch was right, and the results showed that Damien was having an affair behind my back.
What kind of evidence is this? You can make these things up, you know.
Damien refused to accept the evidence I showed him, so I confronted him with a definite proof. Are you saying that what you see in this photo is also made up? The photo showed Damien and a woman who worked under him, walking arm in arm.
This is, well, it's not that I was cheating on you.
You filled out the divorce papers really quickly because you thought you could remarry that woman anyway, right? As I turned to Damien and said this, Kyle murmured in a small voice, saying,
You've got to be kidding me, right? What you told me was a complete lie, Dad. Because you're the one who told me that Mom was the one having an affair. That's because...
As Kyle shouts at Damien, he became smaller and smaller. Damien had once been scolded by Kyle for treating me like a servant and verbally abusing me badly.
You're being terrible to Mom, Dad.
In order to get Kyle, who defended me, onto Damien's side, he lied to Kyle that I was having an affair. And Kyle unfortunately believed that lie, felt betrayed by me, and began to behave badly. Not only did you trick me, but you tricked our son as well. You are not only a lousy husband, but also a lousy father.
Christy and Kyle, I am so sorry.
We shall just discuss everything through a lawyer now. I am no longer interested in having any conversation with you. I am leaving now. I ignore and shake off Damien's attempts to hang on to me and gather my things to leave the house. Then Kyle opens the bedroom door apologetically and walks in.
I'm sorry, Mom. I know you may not forgive me, but I'm really sorry, Mom.
Toward the end, Kyle was at a loss for words, and I knew that he was crying. After so much verbal abuse I received from Kyle, I honestly don't think that I could forgive Kyle so easily. But when I saw my son's tears, I couldn't leave him just like that. Kyle, I'm thinking of going back to my parents' house. Would you also like to come too, Kyle?
I'm really sorry, Mom. Thank you. I will go with you.
Kyle apologized to me again and started to pack his things in his room. Kyle and I finished preparing to leave the house and declared to Damien that we were leaving. I'm going to charge you alimony, definitely. Of course, I will also charge the person with whom you had an affair, so please keep that in mind.
No way. If we discuss about it, you'll understand. Right, Kyle? You're always on my side, right? I can't believe you could say such thing when you were the one who lied to me. You really let me down.
Kyle and I left the house together while ignoring Damien. Kyle seemed a little concerned about Damien, but when I started to walk away, he followed right behind me. I went straight home to my parents' house and explained the situation to them, and they gladly welcomed me and Kyle. After returning home, Kyle changed his attitude from how he was before and began to help out willingly. He takes the initiative to do everything from cleaning the bathroom to shopping, not to mention cleaning and doing laundry, even without being asked. My parents live at home and are pretty old, so Kyle's help is a big help to them. They were happy to know that Kyle was growing up to be a good son. Kyle is a good son, and since coming back to my parents' house, Kyle seems to be back to who he was before. The grudges I had towards Kyle had gradually disappeared, and our conversations have increased. But there is one thing that has been traumatic for me. It was the incident when Kyle threw away the lunch right in front of me. No matter how hard I watched Kyle work, I couldn't bring myself to make him lunch because I still clearly remembered what happened that day. I guess Kyle knew and felt that too, because he never asked me to make him lunch. But Kyle's allowance was not enough to cover the cost of lunch. So, Kyle began waking up early and started to make his own lunch. Although he wasn't really used to it, he stood in the kitchen and cut vegetables. Seeing Kyle like that, the trauma in my heart gradually faded away. One day, Kyle told me that he had cooked scrambled eggs and left some for leftovers. I was curious and tried some of the leftovers. It tasted very salty, as if he put too much salt and pepper. I wonder if Kyle always eats salty scrambled eggs. It made me smile to think of Kyle trying his best to make his lunch every day, even though he was not used to it. Even though Damien had lied to him and he was tricked by Damien, I still would not be able to easily forgive Kyle for what he did. That's what I thought. But when I see Kyle working so hard on his own to help out, I can feel that he's making an effort to win my trust. Tears began to well up as I ate the salty scrambled eggs. Kyle was the one I had waited for so long to come into the world as my child. The son whom I had loved so much since he was a little baby boy, as he was the apple of my eye. I thought I might never be able to forgive him again after everything he has said and done to me. But after all, Kyle is my beloved son. I vowed to let bygones be bygones and face Kyle again. From that day on, my relationship with Kyle began to change for the better. I received the alimony from Damien and his mistress, and we divorced. With my savings, we moved into an apartment near my parents' house where we could live together as a family of 2. I had been a nurse before my marriage, so I had no trouble getting back to work. When I started looking for work, the hospital manager where I had previously worked immediately called me. I was to work as a full-time nurse, and naturally, I would have to work the night shift on some days. But I never felt burdened because Kyle willingly volunteered to do the house chores. By the time Kyle became a high school student, we had grown very close. I even felt that we were closer than before Kyle's rebellion began. The 2 of us often go shopping together, and Kyle quickly carries the shopping bags for me without saying a word. One day, as the 2 of us were going out shopping as usual, I saw Damien on a sidewalk. Damien looked really dirty, and it looked like he was homeless, rummaging through a trash can. According to what my lawyer told me, Damien had had quite a hard time paying his alimony after our divorce. Still, he somehow paid the alimony, thinking that if he paid it, he could finally be with his mistress. But later on, when I demanded alimony from Damien's mistress as well, they ended up breaking up. Damien was fired from his job because his mistress told everyone in the company that Damien had forced himself onto her. Seeing Damien being like that, it didn't really make me sad at all. He got what he deserves, I muttered to myself, and Kyle turned to me and asked,
Mom, what's wrong?
Kyle didn't seem to notice Damien. Even though we were divorced, Damien was still Kyle's father. But Damien tried to tear Kyle and I apart with his stupid lies. Now that we are divorced, we are a family, just the 2 of us. I thought about it a lot, but in the end, I didn't tell Kyle about Damien. Oh, no, it's nothing. Anyways, what do you want to eat tonight for dinner?
Salisbury steak. I really love how you make it, so I want to know how you make it, Mom. Please teach me today.
Sure. I'm looking forward to the day I get to eat one of your delicious Salisbury steak, Kyle. Pretending not to have seen Damien, Kyle and I went into the shopping center together happily. Thank you for watching until the end. Please subscribe to our channel. We hope to see you in our next video.